Dealing with loneliness. How do you deal with this feeling? If you are dealing with loneliness, it's important to remember that everyone feels lonely from time to time. Even the most stoic people can feel loneliness time and again. Even that crushing loneliness that sometimes just comes out of nowhere and hits you like a tidal wave, and you gotta grab a surfboard and somehow figure out how to just ride that shit out. So there's nothing wrong with feeling loneliness, nor wanting to change it. Now, if you think you are depressed, first you should consider talking with a doctor. If you are depressed, it can be very treatable. And consider getting counseling, consider seeing a therapist. It does help. But just don't take the psychotropic drugs they'll want to give you. They may or may not just make things worse. Get multiple evaluations. It is stupid how a majority of society believes that seeing a therapist means you are weak or broken. Not at all. It's good and very healthy to talk about what's going on inside you. A going rate for a session can cost around $50, but here, I'm in the US, often one's place of employment will cover part or all of the cost of therapy sessions. So maybe look into this option if you think it's a possibility for you. So if you're feeling lonely, loneliness is the result of a story you've attached to the present moment. What I find that helps me is that I allow myself to deeply feel the loneliness. I don't wallow or marinate in it, but I won't deny the feeling. Don't try and fight, just feel it and say to yourself, it's okay. And do your best to let it go. You have the ability to make the present moment what you desire. What is the difference between loneliness and being alone? The difference between loneliness and just being alone is really just a mental switch. Ultimately, loneliness is just your interpretation of reality, and like all interpretations of reality, it requires your belief in it to exist at all. You have to know that other interpretations of reality are always readily available to you. The power is within, and everything you need to be happy is already around you. You have to ask yourself, what do I want? Do you want to be sad and miserable? And if not, then why do you make yourself feel bad? Only you can know. So just because you're alone does not mean you need to be lonely. Loneliness is simply a feeling. It comes, it goes. You're happy, you're sad, you're joyful, you're distraught. It's like waves in the ocean. Being alone is simply a state of being. You can be alone and be very happy. You can be joyful. You can be content. You can feel great. That's what I want you to take out of this, if nothing else. You'll be fine being alone. First thing is realizing you don't need another person or a lover, a relationship to be happy. You know, the most difficult form of loneliness that you will ever deal with is that form of loneliness that takes place when you're with someone in a relationship and you are feeling lonely. I guarantee you will not feel a depth of loneliness deeper than that. That is extremely difficult to handle. So the point is, you have got to become comfortable being alone. Take a break from being in relationships. Learn to be self-sufficient, and thus it really negates the need or desire for a relationship or the need for an external source of someone else to make you happy. Learning to be happy by yourself is so very important. If you can't truly enjoy being just by yourself and learn to love yourself and be your own best friend, then how do you expect to truly be able to love someone else? While you undergo this process, at many times you will get really lonely, but the feeling goes away. Some people sit in an empty room and feel nothing but pure bliss. Other people sit in an empty room and feel nothing but loneliness and despair. How you perceive reality depends on a collection of your life experiences, genetic predispositions, and maybe even a collection of experiences from some sort of higher power consciousness, but we won't get into that. Single people are not sad because they're single. They're sad because they think they need to be in a relationship to be happy. Forget about a relationship and instead focus on self-improvement. What makes people truly happy is when they are growing and making progress. I know from experience that when I'm happy, it's because I'm busy doing things, solving problems, working, building something, improving a skill. I used to deny this, but it's true. If you feel lonely, it's because you don't keep yourself as busy as you'd like to think. If I'm lazy around the house watching TV all day, I feel more depressed. If I get up and just simply go mow the lawn, for example, I feel like I've done something productive and the depression is gone. A great thing to do to combat loneliness is to go within, meditate. Mindfulness and introspection are a gift. When you do let go of everything and enter into the nothingness, it hits you quite fast that you don't really want whatever you think you want. That just resting in a state of complete surrender is beyond anything the world of duality can offer you. Through consistent meditation and achieving advanced states, you realize you don't need anything to be happy. If you don't meditate, you can just sit in silence and enjoy the little things. This is truth. My favorite times are Sunday and Saturday morning. I'll just sit with a cup of coffee on the sofa, just looking out the window at the trees. I may do this for an hour or even 2 hours. I can just sit there listening to the silence, enjoying the peace, gaining pleasure from the peace. Indulge yourself in the pleasure of nothingness sometimes. Just think about nothing. You will get through this loneliness. Let's get onto some ideas about getting through this in a positive sense. You should be setting goals. Without a goal or perspective, you are like a fish in a bowl, always swimming but never moving on. Setting small goals and completing them gives confidence and the energy to complete bigger goals. Starting with bigger goals can easily end in failure and decrease confidence further. Work out, exercise. If you do find yourself lazy and unmotivated, it's time to put in some effort to change that if that isn't how you want to feel. Get out into nature. Go for an amazing hike. Hit the gym. Physical exercise will definitely be a plus for anyone, even if you're not in shape. You'll feel better, you'll build muscle and sleep better, and it's a mood enhancer naturally. Even just 20 minutes on a stationary bike will make you feel much better. So get out, get some exercise, go see an interesting sight or part of town. Passions. I suggest you find something that interests you. Develop and follow your passions. Find something you enjoy, set up a goal and work towards it. It doesn't matter what, just that you have a goal you're striving to achieve. Develop hobbies. This is why hobbies and passions are so important. Having something to keep your thoughts occupied keeps you sane. Giving yourself too much time to think causes overthinking of simple shit, and overthinking is not good. The longer you think, it's just going to turn negative, so try to avoid this. Try to find a hobby or do something you enjoy or enjoyed in your past. Maybe it will give you the confidence to leave your isolation. Perhaps look for a more fulfilling job, but at least research all different kinds of hobbies. Jump right into something. It could be fun. Maybe join some sport or martial art classes. Maybe do some voluntary work. But find hobbies and interests. Figure out the kind of person you want to be and pursue the objectives to reach that point. If you seek wisdom, read. If you seek fitness, go work out in meaningful ways. It doesn't mean you have to start shaking and baking chicken breasts in protein powder, but just start working out slowly. Or get out and grow a garden. If you want to know all about mushrooms, go to the library and check out some books. If you want to write, go fucking write until you can't bend your fingers anymore. Engage in a hobby and stick with it. Play an instrument. Learn how to cook. Learn wood burning, leather working, fishing. Run some 10Ks. Play guitar every day loudly for an hour or two. Join a softball co-ed league, whatever. Just don't sit on your ass all the time. Get out there and try some things. You'll feel great. Also, use the internet to learn some skills. If you're feeling lonely, get on the internet can help you learn almost anything by yourself. Anything you might want to learn how to do, being that learn a craft, deepen your knowledge about a sport or nutrition, learn business, learn finance. The internet has been giving power to the individual by providing him or her with the tools to build his or her own space. Use it. Get a pet. If you're lonely, get a pet if you have the means to do so. Get a dog. Sitting and listening to the clock tick in your apartment is not good for you. Getting a pet, whatever it may be, that requires your attention and responsibility for its well-being goes a long way toward relieving loneliness in my experience. Even something as simple as a betta fish or a hermit crab. But I love dogs. Get a dog. You can take it for a walk at least 20 minutes every day. It's great. It helps you get outside. Get out and make new friends. It will help with loneliness. And if you absolutely need a lot of friends, make friends doing activities you're actually interested in and stop trying to fit into groups you don't care about. This does not mean to stop broadening your horizons, but the more you invest your time in stuff that excites you, the less you will make fake friends, and the happier you will be. Only be loyal to your friends, and only be friends with people you can trust. If you have caught someone in a lie or they betrayed you once, they'll probably do it again. So only count on people like that as acquaintances. Have drinks with friends. Throw an incredible poker or pool party for your best friends. My go-to advice is to find people with common interests and create relationships around that. Minimize. The fewer possessions I have, the more comfortable I am. But most people are uncomfortable with minimalism because material stuff gives them a sense of completeness. Self-improvement. If you're lonely, work on your self-improvement and personal development. Personal development is a big one. Hobbies, friends, activities, working hard on success, giving back to the community. Can't be lonely if you aren't alone or are tired as shit from making yourself and the world badass. If you're lonely and you're not satisfied with where you are, consider getting a job or change of scenery. Did you know you can work all around the world in exchange for bed and board? One day you could be a fisherman in Greece, or looking after 500 dogs in Croatia, or helping out on a farm in France, or working on a sailboat in Italy. There's so many possibilities. This life is completely available to all of you at the tip of your fingertips. Remember to take note of what makes you happy and do that as often as you can. Don't just do what everyone else is doing. Don't just follow everyone else. Following the herd will often lead you right over a cliff. Don't be afraid to be different and think objectively for yourself. Consider that being alone can be a great thing. One thing is you have your freedom. You have the ability to change your life. You want to start a business? Do it now. You want to move to a new city? Go ahead. You want to go to the gym for the next couple hours? Do it. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need to have any discussions, negotiations, nothing. You have a superpower. You have the ability to focus. You don't have any distractions in your life relating to people unless you choose to bring them into your life. Now list 3 things that really make you happy. I like to make music, travel, and go for hikes. Those are 3 things that I really enjoy. What are yours? The reason why you want to identify these 3 things that give you joy is because these 3 activities probably generate a huge amount of your happiness. By determining these things, it allows you to focus on expanding the amount of time that you spend on those activities to lead you to the best life you could possibly have. Your future self will thank you. Immerse yourself in the things you enjoy doing and the loneliness will fade. Please remember that you're alive. You are free to seek anything you desire. You may fail, but then you'll find something else. Do the things you like and enjoy your life. Set some goals and go about achieving them. Don't let anyone else frame or define happiness for you. Learn to be alone. Work on yourself. Keep improving. Let all of your strength come from within. There's a lot of societal pressure on being alone, but it's totally fine. Dare to fail. Dare to try something out and find it's not for you. If the latter happens, learn from it. Ask yourself, what is it about this thing or activity that doesn't click with me? These kind of experiences often teach you more than the things you come to like and stick with. If you focus on self-improvement, as time goes by, you will eventually be in great shape, be financially independent, in a career you love, and skilled in an area you're passionate about. Of course, first step is seeing a therapist or doctor. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. The fog will lift and you will have clear, sunny days in the future. Put together a 5 or 10-year plan on where you want to be and start checking off goals towards that. Dealing with loneliness, it takes some time, but it most definitely can be done. Please be aware this definitely doesn't happen overnight. Love yourself. You have value. Accept that fact. To sum up, if you're dealing with loneliness, you need to work on yourself. You need to learn how to love yourself. Before you can ever even love someone else deeply, you have to be able to love yourself. So work on improving yourself. Start with your health. Eat healthy food. Go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. Get enough sleep at night. Cut out alcohol. Focus on your health and your mental stability will follow. Cut out the emotionally draining people from your life. Every morning, write 10 things you are grateful for. Meditate every day. I promise you will see positive changes. In the past, I was in a massive slump and turned things around by doing the things that I mentioned earlier, consistently and daily. Good luck to you. Also, something I'm going to recommend is a cheap little book that I encourage you to read called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. If above nothing else, liking yourself, accepting yourself, and this can take a while, it can take you a long time, and most people probably won't ever be able to achieve it. But if you ever want to have any sense of contentment, then you have to at least learn how to accept and like yourself. Hang in there, you're not alone. We've all been there, we've all felt loneliness. Sending positive vibes to you always. Thanks for watching.